So we'll get to the Ole Miss game in a little while. Let's not bury the lead.
Oh,
we'll talk about State? Yeah, we'll talk about the game itself.
Speaking of throwing up.
Yeah. Let's start with the serious part of it, though. Blake Shapen out for the year with a shoulder injury.
Sucks.
Mississippi State confirmed it. What was it, Saturday night?
Yeah, Saturday night. Got a message from a source that said that the state would be announcing that within a few minutes of that. And took that time to write up a quick story for SuperTalk.fm. And by the time I finished what I needed to write, I was able to copy and paste the statement from Jeff Lebby in there, and there it is. Blake Shapen out for the season with a shoulder injury. He'll have surgery, and Mississippi State will be going with a true freshman this week. Michael Van Buren has been named the starting quarterback. They expect, I think, from what Lebby was saying today, that both guys will probably play against Texas, but it's going to be Michael Van Buren to get the start.
And that's not Martin Van Buren. It's Michael Van Buren.
Michael. Martin was the 8th president of the United States.
El Presidente.
The mutton chops won't be making an appearance, although he could really increase his brand by doing that, though. That'd be pretty cool.
Well, I'll pass it along if I get to speak to him.
Just big chops, even coming out of the helmet.
Got a chance to be an initial guy, too. There's a lot of people that are going to go with MVB.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I think it's, and if he turns out down the road to be a really good player, MVP stuff works.
Yeah,
you got some branding opportunities there for the young man.
It really does suck, though. The more I've workshopped the take on this, the more it's all bad and there's some good and there's more bad. Like, for example, Blake Shapen getting hurt's awful. Quarterbacks especially have to put in so much work, and they do it all offseason just to get a few games in to have what you thought would be his draft year, and not only the team not winning, but an injury. And so the possibility of him returning to state next year on what you hope is a better team is that's a good thing. But also, you have this opportunity to work with a young quarterback. And the season at this point is kind of lost anyway. And so if you're looking for a silver lining, it's, hey, there's this really talented young quarterback that can get a lot of experience. But it's Texas and Georgia. That's his first game action is Texas and Georgia. So can that really help a young quarterback? So I'm trying to figure out exactly where to, what the angle is, but it's all bad and there's opportunity for good, but with the good comes Texas and Georgia.
It's almost like you sit Marty Van Buren down and you tell him, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm sorry. It's like, you're like, hey, if you don't die in the next 2 weeks, it's going to get easier after that.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but a little. Blake Shapen, 13 of 21, 140 yards, had a touchdown pass. He was sacked one time, 12 carries for a net of 32 yards, had a rushing touchdown in the game. As has been the case for the first 3 weeks of the season, I thought Blake Shapen was playing a pretty good game. He was making some things happen in that ball game. And it really does stink. I mean, we've enjoyed our visits with Blake Shapen. Don't know what the future holds for him. The statement from Mississippi State, Jeff Lebby was very clear. They were going to do everything they could to help him be able to get his medical red shirt.
And he addressed that again today and said they felt very confident in that process that Shapen would be back with Mississippi State next year if he so chooses to be.
Which is good. He, despite all the stuff, quarterback was not Mississippi State's issue.
No. Bulldogs finally ran the ball.
They did.
56 carries for 240 yards.
You really would have had me thinking State won the game if you had told me that before the game started.
240 on the ground, 240 through the air.
Balance.
Say what?
Balance.
Yeah. Absolutely so. But no answer for this high-octane Florida offense.
I don't even have a comeback. I couldn't
made
think
you
of anything.
giggle.
Yeah.
Florida took an early lead on a touchdown pass from Graham Mertz. Mississippi State answered later in the first quarter, right there at the very end of the first quarter, to make it a 7-7 game. But then Florida scored at the 10:56, 9:02, and 1:17 marks of the third quarter. They took a 28-7. No, they didn't. State scored. You had the Blake Shapen touchdown run before the half, 28-14 at the half. State cut it to 7, right? They made it 28-21 when Jordan Mosley caught a 13-yard touchdown pass from Shapen. That was with 6:38 to go in the third quarter. But then a couple of scores in a row, a Graham Mertz rushing touchdown, another rushing touchdown, a 10-play, 93-yard drive that lasted almost 6 minutes. That was took up half the fourth quarter, basically. Mm-hmm. At that point, Florida was ahead 42-21. State would get a touchdown run from Johnny Daniels, and then Florida kicks a field goal with a couple of minutes left, and they get out of there with the 45-28 win. Give me some takeaways.
I thought offensively, State was much better. You know, they scored 28 and had 2 drives stop at the 1-yard line. So they had an opportunity to get 40-plus points. Ran the ball effectively, as you said. State did get another bit of injury news today. Kevon Lee is going to be out, quote, for a while. Didn't see the injury for him, but he had a really good game. Was running the ball well, I thought. I thought Daniels and Booth, excuse me, ran the ball as well. State's a little trouble here as far as running back depth goes, because Xavier Gayton, the true freshman, was also out this game. So State only has 2 scholarship running backs available right this second. They got to find, I don't know if they're going to move somebody, what they're going to do, but they got to do something there. But defensively, I mean, this team is just miserable. They're just so bad. Now, I'm sure at this point we've all seen this video going around Twitter of somebody who broke down a little bit of the game, and you see this play where basically there's nobody on the right side of the line for Mississippi State. So never mind that State's talent.
Wait, like pre-snap?
Yeah. Like when they snap the ball,
okay,
there's nobody there. And so the Florida guard takes off down the field. He has to go 10, 12 yards before he finds somebody to hit. Running back just following him. There was an interview today I saw from a Texas Tech player who said on film Mississippi State had the worst run scheme we've ever seen. I mean, brutal stuff coming out of this. I mean, and it's just all well-deserved. This defense it's not talented, and it's poorly coached, and that's about as bad a combination as I can give you.
Zero pressure on Florida quarterbacks. Graham Mertz and DJ Lagway combined to go 26 of 28 for 277 yards with 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and no sacks. Hey, Dad, where does State go from here?
To basketball season. I mean, there is no me telling you, well, you know, they're going to continue to improve, and by the end of the season, they'll have a chance against Missouri, Tennessee, and Ole Miss. No, it's just get through the next 8 weeks, 9 weeks. That's all this is. This is just survival mode.
Yeah, and this is it's a really hard place to be.
It is. It is.
I mean, you are 4 weeks into the season.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, look, if you want to say whatever you want to. Oh, the season ended after the Arizona State game. Yeah, whatever.
Well, you've played 4 of the 5 easiest games on your schedule.
The remaining schedule for Mississippi State: at number 1 Texas, open date; at number 2 Georgia; host Texas A&M, who might be back in the top 25.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they are now.
They are now.
Yeah.
Host Arkansas, who everybody expected to be awful, and yet they are 3-1.
They're certainly not awful.
Host UMass. Go to number 5 Tennessee. Go open date. Host number 11 Missouri. Go to number 6 Ole Miss.
Yeah.
We talked about the schedule all summer long and how brutal it was.
Yeah. But we talked about it in terms of, you know, at this point in the season, State should be 3-1, or maybe they could be 4-0 after they could beat Florida, and instead they're 1-3. And I mean, right now the ceiling is 2-10. That's where the ceiling is you can beat UMass, and then that's about it. And that's, I mean, it's a painful bitter pill to
maybe
swallow.
something weird happens. Maybe.
Yeah, big maybe. Yeah, it just is what it is. So I keep coming back to something. When we talked to Levy at Media Days, and you asked him, how do you define success this year? And he said, I want Mississippi State fans to know they've got the right guy at the end of the season. They're not going to. They're not going to know that at the end of this season. It's not possible for, I don't think there were any Arkansas fans in 2018 looking at Chad Morris after a 2-10 year going, well, we struggled, but we got the right guy. We're going to be okay. I don't think that was happening. And that's what's going to happen here with Jeff Levy. He's going to have another year and to prove that he's the right guy in Starkville.
So you obviously, as part of your job, you don't have the option of just averting your eyes, right?
No.
You got to go, you got to watch, you got to cover it, you got to go to press conferences, you got to go to do post-game interaction.
Mm-hmm.
As you have talked to some of your friends
mm-hmm.
or acquaintances who are Mississippi State fans, and this is not like this is like the most genuine question. How do they plan to handle / consume the rest of the season? Like, are they just done? Like, if I've got nothing else to do, maybe I'll watch it. I'm not going. I'm not spending another dime on it. Screw it. It's college football. I love college football. We only get 12 a year. I'll be there.
I got some diehard friends. I don't know as much about. I don't know. They'll continue to consume the games. I don't know how many people are going to be coming to Starkville, and I certainly don't know how many people are going to be going on road trips. I got some friends who have some good Egg Bowl streaks that will come to Oxford, even though the outcome is likely going to be very painful. You're talking to one of them right here, but by and large, I think emotionally, you almost going to have to kind of disconnect just a little bit. You can go to the game and you can try to have a good time with your family and enjoy the city of Starkville and seeing your friends and coming to campus. But if you're going to be emotionally invested in these games, you are going to suffer for the next few weeks.
I'm guessing they're State fans who for a while have had, hey, let's go to Austin. That'll be fun. Cool city, hang out, eat.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Have fun, go to the game. And you probably still make the trip. You definitely still make the trip if you planned for it. But maybe not as fun as it was going to be.
No.
Could have been.
Yeah.
It's just, not that you ever looked at that and were like, you know what, we are winning that game. But you thought, maybe go down there and hang with them for a while and see what happens.